up, everybody? This is DarthCastle here with today. We're going to check out XM Boba Fett. Now, this is a piece. At first, I mean, I always liked the look of it, but it was back when getting XM pieces was a lot more difficult. You know, didn't have the connections that we do today, so I didn't think it was possible for me to get it, so I didn't even think about getting it, you know. But I remember writing and said, "Man, you seen the XM Boba Fett?" I was like, "Yeah, it's nice, but I don't think it seems like too much trouble, than it's worth." But the more I looked at it, and then I was always after the Mythos Boba. That was the Boba I wanted. I still do. I want to pair it up with this and put them together. But after that, I'll be done with Boba Fett pieces. But something just said go for it. You know, you only live once, so I went and got it. It was a little pricey. A little bit pricier than waiting until now. I've learned a big lesson with this piece. You wait, stuff will come down and you can get it. Surprisingly, this piece has not really taken off the way I thought it would, and a lot of people still don't hold this one in too much high esteem, which I'm very surprised. Our boy Dave Rose, special shout out. He has said many times he prefers the OG premium format to this, which yeah, I mean, I really don't even need to see that in person, in my opinion. I mean, I do it just to humor everybody, but I still don't think it would change my opinion. This is a very dynamic piece, almost not quite along the lines as the Heat Seeker, as far as movement and action sequence. This one, turn it to the back right quick. This is from Return of the Jedi. The way you tell where your Fett is from is the jetpack. When the jetpack, when it has this blue and sort of mustard gold kind of color pattern, that's Return of the Jedi. The one from Empire was more of a military green and sort of like a darker gray, I believe. But this particular pattern here is from Return of the Jedi. I guess after he turned in Han Solo, he got a little payment, got him a new jetpack, or some situation like that. But yeah, this is
yeah, man. This one, I'm not huge into Star Wars, but when I saw this, I forget what site I saw it on, but I saw this.
What, Magic Compass?
Maybe Secret Compass. It might have been Secret Compass. Mm-hmm. And I saw this on there. And yeah, this was a stunner for me because, I've seen a bunch of Boba Fett statues. They all look the same to me. For me, it takes something dynamic and something action. And we were talking about the Heat Seeker before. I like the statues where you draw it on paper and then it's like, all right, how are we gonna sculpt that? And I love how they managed to get this picture. How they use the smoke as part of his base, part of what's holding him up. Because he ain't gonna be able to float in the air. Even the Magneto statues where he's floating, they gotta have him attached somewhere. And they got him attached with the smoke, and they got his foot down on this to keep him in place. But they get the illusion, they sell the illusion that he's, up in the air. And so I love when they do stuff like that, and do it in an unconventional way, using the flame and the smoke from his jetpack to propel him up in the air. And yeah, I love it. There is no question, there is no other Boba Fett statue I've seen that gets my attention like this one.
Agreed.
I love the flamethrower. I love that on him. The damage all in his helmet, and like it's just like he got all the Star Wars stuff. This is one of the pieces that I want though, and it's a Star Wars piece. To this date, I don't have any Star Wars pieces. Vader Mythos, and this would probably be the only Star Wars pieces I have in my collection. Maybe a Darth Maul, but you know, this is one of those pieces that I can't ignore it when I see it. Like I told him about it, and yeah, because you know this was a time when we thought XM was really out of reach because you gotta jump through a lot of hoops. You know, he wasn't sure about it, and you know I wasn't sure about it either. But I figured, you know, if one of us is gonna get it, it'd probably be him because he's a Star Wars guy. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this one. This is one of my favorite XM pieces. You know.
And it's not just that; it's the texture on this thing is incredible. Like as you get close, you'll see in the pictures, like the texture on the pants and the pouches, even like all the little hoses and stuff that go into his gauntlets. And the one thing for me, I mean, it's simple, but it's still the way they pulled it off. His visor looks like actual glass, and it's not. It's painted. So however they pulled that off is incredible. I mean, it looks like glass. You know what I mean? And you'll see it in the close-ups. But this is a in my opinion, a masterful job. Paint application. Just one thing I would change, and I'll tell you about that later. But in the prototype, for those of you who don't know, these on his shoulder, those are Wookiee braids. So Wookiees that he killed from bounties. He keeps them as trophies, like you know, as you saw in Revenge of the Sith, where Yoda was on Kashyyyk. That's Wookiee's planet. Some of them had like dreads type of things, and that's what these are that he's kept as trophies. On the prototype, they were actual cloth, but on here it's sculpted. I believe it's PVC here, and so they've changed that, and so the belt and the pouches, everything, the strings, it's really incredible. It really is, you know.
Question. Yeah. You may not know. What are the numbers?
The numbers I'm not sure about. Okay. But the color scheme, I know for sure. This is see this whole scene here it has to be you know, far as we've seen, you know, with Boba, this has to be at Jabba's sail barge, the scene from Return of the Jedi when Luke gets loose and starts to free everybody. You know, because this part here, even though it's got a Mandalorian symbol on it, it looks like Jabba's sail barge, the color and everything. And it looks to me like, you know, when Boba comes out and then he takes flight and he flies over to the barge that Luke and Han and Chewie are on. And that's to me what they've made it look better, because in the movie, you know, it didn't look as smooth as this, you know what I mean? And that's the thing I like about it, is it's the smoothness, and you know, because you read about stuff you never really saw in the movies, him go to work like you see him going like the comic books, because in the comic books he is lethal, and I mean lethal. You know what I mean? There was one book where Jabba likes to test all his employees and keep them on edge. And it was one time where Boba, I can't remember if he did something wrong or didn't complete his whatever, which is rare for him. And so Jabba decided to turn all his henchmen on him, and he wiped them all out, and it had to be at least 12, 15 of them. You know what I mean? So, you know, he's a bad dude when you read about him. You know, you always hear about it, but you just never saw it on screen. That's why I'm praying in one of these anthology films that we get a Boba Fett film. You know what I mean? But it's a great. Now this piece comes with a couple switch outs, not many. I will never be using these because I'm a purist. But yeah, we'll switch it out for you in the pictures. It's kind of difficult to do, so we're not gonna do it right now. He get 2 pistols, like his father, like Jango Fett style. You figure he might have one as a sidearm, but to me that's more his father's speed. You know, his weapon of choice. Even though he claims that he has mastered every single weapon as powerful a lightsaber in the Star Wars universe, he claims to have trained with all of them and then mastered them, knows all his strengths and weaknesses. His weapon of choice is still the EE3 carbine rifle, which he has here. You know what I mean? And
I heard of that in the game.
Yes, that's Boba Fett's weapon of choice. And the reason why, I just turn it back this way for a second, he can pull off single-handed, because usually with a rifle, you know, you got to support the front, you got to hold it back. With this, he's put a grip in so that he can just hold it with one hand. And if he wanted to fire like that more accurate, he could. But at this point, it looks as if he's dealing with multiple targets, as we said, Han, Chewie, Luke, all on one barge that he's trying to take out. And, you know, that's what it looks like to us, where this scene, because obviously after that, he goes into the Sarlacc pit. And, you know, there's stories that he climbed out, but it's never confirmed, you know, it's not in canon or whatever. But,
you know, Disney, let's see.
Yeah, we'll find out, you know.
I noticed one thing.
What's that?
Just from turning this thing around on the Lazy Susan.
It's heavy.
Yeah, like looking at it, I didn't expect
it
to be hard to turn on the Lazy Susan, but it's got some weight to it.
It's heavy. It feels heavier than it is, because one time I weighed it and it was 33 pounds, and I couldn't believe that it was too. It's very heavy statue, and it's, most of it I think is the base, you know. But I'm guessing it has to be a strong base to support the kind of awkward movement that in the statue. You know what I mean? But I love, one thing I love about it is how they did the shawl, the cape. I don't know if it's really a cape. I call it more of a shawl because it's just over one shoulder. You know what I mean? But the shawl is one of those things that's always bothered me about Boba Fett. Is I think that's right. I think it's PVC.
You think so?
I think so. That's what it feels like to me. It don't feel like polystone. Probably because, you know, the weight over time.
Yeah, it would be
you know.
heavy.
The shawl is one of the things. This has nothing to do with the piece, but it's one of the things that bother me about Boba Fett. And you see, he has this shawl, and I'm guessing when he's standing, it hangs down like down here, and as you can see, he has a jetpack. It always bothers me. Like, doesn't that catch on fire when he takes off? You know what I mean? But you know, it looks smooth. You know, so right, yeah. So and piggybacking off of that, that's one of the things that's always bothered. The only thing that really bugs me about this piece is the color of the fire that's coming out of the turbine. To me, it kind of looks like candy corn. You know what I mean? That's just, you know, I mean, I don't know what else they could have painted it, but it just to me, that's what it looks like. It's candy corn. You know what I mean? But other than that, you know, I love everything about this piece. The movement, I mean, it's sharp. You know what I mean? It's a very smooth looking piece. You know, it's definitely one of them. A piece that grabs your eye when you walk in the room and you're like, damn, that's vicious. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, and I see what you mean by looking like candy corn, but I don't know what other options they would have.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, what to paint it, because you're gonna have to have some of the yellow in it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would be curious, because I know other people have said it looks like candy corn. I'd be curious to know if anybody has like had it repainted and what they did, because I don't know how you make it look better.
I'm not sure. I think the kind of, and that's another knock that I hear a lot of times on this piece is the smoke. People think it looks cartoony, but to me in person it doesn't. Even our man, special shout out our boy PJ Paradox Nerd. You know, he's a big Boba Fett is his favorite character, and even when he got his, it was his video I watched, his unboxing that got me ready for our unboxing, and even he said the smoke in person looks legit. You know what I mean? It doesn't look cartoon. In my opinion, it doesn't look cartoony as far as the smoke.
It doesn't look cartoony, but the only thing maybe with the smoke, I would expect it a little darker.
Right.
But you know, I don't know. Maybe Boba is using clean energy, and he's not polluting the environment as much. Right. But I would kind of expect a darker colored smoke. Yeah. But yeah, it's like I said, this piece is dynamic. It is an eye catcher. It grabs your attention. It's not like any of the other Boba Fett statues, and I'm sorry, I just don't agree that any of the other ones can touch it. That's just me.
Again, don't. My second place is the Mythos one. I still want that one. It should be enough room. That's a 5th scale one, so it should be enough. I got them in the cube. Did my little hacks that I came up with for the K-Lax, and it should be enough room if I move them over a little bit to fit them both in there. So that's the plan. You know, eventually. Another thing I do like about this, as far as the engineering. The way he's looking down the sight of the gun, and if you look in line with it. He's actually looking down the sight. Like for instance, Vader Mythos. If you get up close to, at least mine is. I don't know about anybody else's. And from a distance, he's holding the helmet. It looks like he's looking at the helmet, but if you get up close, the helmet's like over here, and he's kind of looking straight, so it's not like in line looking at the helmet. But this, it looked like he's looking right down the sight of the barrel, and that's, I mean, you know, it's not a huge thing, but it's great that they pulled that off. You know, when you look at it, you know what I mean. So I love the flamethrower. That's another thing I love about it. I mean that the color on that is fine to me, you know. But yeah,
I'm a big fan of this one. Big fan of this one, and you know, I don't collect Star Wars stuff, but this would be on my list. Like, you know, if I had to grab some Star Wars pieces, this is definitely. Definitely, I only have 3 that I want to eventually get. And this is one of those 3 Star Wars pieces that I would get. Because the rest, yeah.
I got high hopes. I've heard a lot of good things. I got the Captain Phasma PF coming in, and everybody that's seen it live says it's pretty special, you know. So. I got high hopes for that one. One warning to people who plan on getting this, people who have it already. The rangefinder doesn't move, so don't try to move it. I mean, I already knew, but just telling you, on this piece the rangefinder doesn't move. So
and that's this, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like an infrared type of thing. Yeah. So he moves it down. He can see through it and you know, find a target or whatever. Yeah, and yeah, don't try to move that.
Yeah, I've seen the Phasma. She looks nice, but again, you know, to me that's a museum pose, and
ain't no question about that.
Nice and shiny.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that coming in, and I'm gonna put that right below him. I got a space waiting. I do plan on getting the XM Luke Skywalker. So I'm gonna wait on that, like, you know, my new theory, waiting on stuff and waiting for the price to go down. Usually when new things come out, people start to sell their old ones, and I'll be there waiting.
I don't know if this is nitpicking or what, but on the bottom of his shoes, do you know if he has grip on the bottom?
Yeah, those are it's
like that.
It's like, let me turn around. Yeah, it's
smooth.
Oh, just smooth. No, yeah, he does have grip. Yeah, I never noticed.
So one flaw.
Yeah,
okay.
I never did notice that. Yeah, he does have grip. Because his shoes are always. There's one thing I always laughed about, because his shoes kind of look like duck boots a little bit, but he got spikes on the end of them for kicking in folks, and you know what I mean, when it downs. I mean, it's when you examine the design of this cat, he's a rough dude, man. You know, it's no wonder Jabba loves him so much, because you know, he you know, spikes on the boots. That ain't somebody who's trying to tickle you with his feet. You know what I mean? So, and you know, he's got the tools in his pants, just like you know, you see him in the movie, and
hem job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got his pants hemmed up. Mind you, I don't know if anybody else would have known that he had grips on the bottom of his feet. But of course,
I've seen.
Of course, this man.
Yeah, he does. I didn't. I never noticed on here that he.
No, but the fact you knew that. That's what he's supposed to have.
Well, you know what? Mainly, I knew because I had the hot toy, and on his shoes he had grips.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So in the movie, I never really seen the bottom of his feet. You know, but on that hot toy, he did have grips on his shoes. But yeah, man, this is a. I mean, I have no idea why this was not really taken off, or people not holding this in too high esteem, or you never really hear much about this one. But you know, this to me, you know, I don't know, to even some of the diehard like Gary, he never went for this one. Our boy Gary Speed, he got the Mythos one, and he was saying you know, that was good for him. I was like, okay. Our boy Wayne Luch, he's selling his.
He got this one.
He got this one. Yeah, he had it, but he's selling it. So I don't know. Mine ain't going nowhere. I can tell you that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I can't relate to that, but maybe they like museum.
maybe I mean, you know.
I can't get into it. I like my pieces doing something. So so this would be the one for me.
Yeah.
Like there's only a couple of pieces I make the exception for. You know, Frank Castle, he gets to just stand there and be in my collection because he's a Punisher.
Yeah.
And Bruce Lee, he can stand there. It's coming soon. He can stand there and just be there. But everybody else, I want to be doing something. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, this is one of my favorite XMs, and one day.
That's the story.